Hello, my name is Viola, and you may know me as the larger member of Mystery Beast Apiary. Today I'm going to be canning some pork with some barbecue pork, or it'll be barbecued by the time it's done, or barbecue flavor, I suppose is the correct way to say it. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing some pressure canning today, and I decided to do this video so that I can show my mom how to use the Presto Canner that I just got her. It's a lot lighter weight than the All-American, and if you have a problem lifting things, period, it's a very good way to go. So we're going to start. I have made sure that the canner, the canner is, it's cheerfully clean. That discoloration happens with use because you're having a lot of really hot boiling water in here. But as you can tell, you don't use a lot of water for this procedure. So this is the base. You make sure to put it with the nubby sides down, so that it keeps everything up and off the bottom of the canner. And now we have our we have our meat. We have the lids waiting in boiling water. We have the jars waiting over here. We have the interior and top of the canner ready to go. So I'm just going to put that back together. Okay, so the essential bits we have are the Presto Canner and cooker manual instructions. This comes packed outside of your canner. It is your pressure gauge. That is how you know what's going on inside the pot. And this, on the All-American, this would be the rocker. But this itself, it's just a single weight. You drop it in place, and then you tell what's going on inside by watching your pressure gauge. So this, I believe, will be working between 11 and 13. That's usually where I can get mine to set. And so now I'll attach these to the unit and put them on top. Oh, and this inner ring here, this comes out for cleaning, and then it goes back in. You make sure that it's clean before every use, even if you cleaned it the time before. You don't want any dust, fluff, anything else to build up in there. This basically is the workhorse of your machine. This keeps the seal. You need that in place. If it wears out, you can buy another one. They're available, I think they're about $24. And easy fix. All of this stuff comes in little replaceable units, so once you have the main unit, you don't have to worry about anything else. Okay, now I'll just put it all together and then you'll see me again. Sorry. Now I'm quickly going to go over some of the safety features of the Presto Canner. This little item will pop up when it's just at like when it reaches 1 on the pressure gauge. This will lock the machine. This will lock the unit. You will not be able to get anything in or out. You will not be able to unlock it if this has popped up. That being said, as soon as this is popped down, it's safe to open the canner. This here is an emergency valve. If this blows all the way out, it's venting steam. It's for your safety. It can also be replaced. So just because it's blown once doesn't mean that your cooker is no longer useful. You can just replace it and get on with your day. And so once this has vented for the 10 minutes, just like any other pressure canner, then we'll just, with tongs, I'll just pop that on top. This time it only starts rocking for me at about 14. So I generally, if it gets that high, then I have to back the heat off. So for me, on this stove, you know, fussing with the heat to get it just right, it's still a bit of a journey. All right, so now on to processing the meat. Okay, so I have in this pan pork. I'm going to be using this rub that I got from PV Mart, and I'm going to be cutting this meat into more manageable chunks, because when I do get around to stuffing them into the pot or into the jars, more manageable is definitely desirable. So we're using a dry rub because you don't want to add too much liquid, or any liquid, when you're doing a raw pack like this. And when we're done with the, when we have this stuff packed up, it'll be great for impromptu tacos, nachos, using as a stuffing in buns, you know. It's going to be a very soft, very flavorful cooked pork. Alright, so I'm making sure that they're all facing upward, and this is my dirty hand and this is my clean hand. Now they're both going to be clean hands because I got to peel the sticker off that. Okay. Oh, that smells delightful. Lots of cumin. Okay, now I'm going to just cover everything. Okay, I'm going to flip everything. And this meat was on sale, and I can never pass up a sale, so it looks like I'll get 4 or 5 jars for $10, which is a very cost-effective meal. Alright, and okay. Done. Now into the jars. Okay, we want to get them down, get as much air out of them as possible. I'm starting with the wide mouth jars because I think they'll be able to hold the most. And then I can use the larger cut pieces in there. And that is that for this one. I'm just pushing them aside now when I finish doing them, and then I will wipe them down, seal them up, and get the pressure canner started. So it's kind of hard when it's raw packed like this to, oh, that's a little too close to the top. It's not going to like that. It should be better. Yeah, that's better. So you want it down around the ring, lower ring. go. And if I have to get another jar, I'll get another jar. These are green, which is going to make the food so very unappealing. But I was lazy. I didn't want to get the other clear jars out of the garage and then sterilize them and everything else. So. Oh, lovely sound. And there we go. Right, this is about how much water you need to go in. I have my heat on high to get it up to the boil, and then I'll turn it down when the time calls for it. So in that one way, this is a little fussier than the All-American, because you do have to keep an eye on the pressure, because it doesn't. So yeah, here we go. Lid's coming on. Alright, so what we have here is we have the open and close vent. There's a, there we go. There's an arrow, and so you line the two arrows up before you try and get anything to go together. The other sides will look like this. The emergency stopper is down. Let's see if I can get... There we go. Right, this comes off. You settle it, and then you just squeeze. And I did that with my palm and my middle finger, and palm and middle finger. It's locked now. So there's some activity inside, and we'll be back when I see the vent going, or when I hear it, or when I sense it. One of the two. 3. It's been a long day. Bye-bye. Okay, so the boiling started inside. It's just starting to spit out the top a bit. And if you're not sure if there's a jet of steam yet, well, I'll show you a nice, safe way to test it. This is a paper towel. It feels no pain. So, it's right over there. No, there's no pressure on it yet. You can see steam coming up, but nothing coming out yet. Okay, another 5 minutes. Alright, we have, you can see it now, a jet of steam. I only had to wait 2 minutes and not 5, but it's chucking along, so I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and just let it bolt out like that. There's the timer counting down. There's the steam belting up. And here you can tell this thing really wants to pop up, but it's not going to. And you don't have to be worried about water coming out of the top of your machine at this point, because it's just condensation from the interior. That's all it is. And that one is probably because I washed it earlier. So, alright, so see it again in 10 minutes. Now, the irony of this is that you can hear the steam, but you can't see the steam, which means it is very, I'm turning the timer off, there's my 10 minutes, it makes it very dangerous. It can scald you very easily. So, I am taking these lovely tongs I'm using that. There we go. To pop that on there. And so you can see here this immediately popped out as pressure began to build, and now we watch the pressure gauge to see what it's going to do. Sorry, it was annoying. Oh, and it is starting to climb. Alright, I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but not too much. You always want to make sure that you can access your oven controls easily around the unit. No part of me is touching it. I don't have to reach over it. I don't have to reach past it. I don't have to duck past pots and pans. I can just get right at the controls here. That's important. And we got to 2.5, oh, almost to 3. And now we'll give it another few minutes. Okay, now in full disclosure, I have checked on this once in the interim. You can tell the time has passed since I started. This is not a fast process. It is a fun one. But, and you can make a lot of really neat stuff for those days when you just don't want to freaking cook. And yes, I said freaking. So I'm going to start the timer now. It's 75 minutes. Or 1 hour and 15 minutes, if you want to get all fancy. And then I'm going to turn it down just slightly. It is at 7.5. Because we don't want to lose it. If it goes back too far, like right now it's at 13. So I've set it down to 5. If it goes back too far, if it passes 11 at any point here, over here, yeah, there's me. If it goes past 11 again, you have to start the timer all over again and do the other 75 minutes. That time is needed to kill the bacteria, to boil out the oxygen, to make it a safe product. And now I'm going down to 4. And now my rocker is rocking right around 14. So. The 11 psi or whatever it is, it's the minimum that you don't want to go beneath. So, yeah, this is my 13.5 rocker right there. Those little beads coming out are condensation from the inside of the rocker because the metal is cooler than the steam that's coming through it. Alright, so I got the temperature somewhat stable, and I have to come back in 4 minutes and check to make sure that the temperature hasn't fallen too drastically. So if it has, I gotta turn it up again. the timer, not the time. Well, the temperature hasn't come down any, so I will bring it down. 3.5. And the bottom of the pan, you can't see it, but it has a separate insert that makes full contact with the glass top. So this one is very friendly for glass top oven canning. Okay, we'll come back in a few more minutes. That's the joy of pressure canning. Keep an eye on that sucker. You don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, so we're down into the last 1 minute and 20 seconds of the cooking, or of the canning. What we've got here is the rocker still rocking. The temperature is still my pressure is still 14. The lock is still up. There's no sign of any leakage. The cat is on the kitchen floor. Hi, Mystery! And now he's away. And now he's back. Alright. In case you wonder, I'm watching the timer. Four, 3, 2, yay! And now we're going to reach the hive. Turn off the heat. Comes back with hot surface. And now we leave it alone. At least a solid 10 minutes, quite possibly more, before the gauge here is reading 0. They do recommend you moving it to the cold side of your stove to speed things along, but if you're like my mom, you can't really lift an entire canner full of canned items and shove it to the side while it's boiling hot. Plus she's kind of small. Alright, so I will be back when all has gone silent and the pressure gauge is 0. Okay, we're down to the last one. Literally. Notice the little, block the light a bit. The little stopper here is still up and in the lock position, so you couldn't unlock it even if you wanted to. The timer is slow, or not the timer, the pressure gauge is slowly setting to 0. You can hear the boiling. Surprisingly, it's not the boiling of the water around the canners, or around the jars. It's the boiling of the jars themselves. So I'll be back in 5 minutes when this should all be serene. Alrighty, so what we have in front of us is we have a gauge where the needle is pressing against the stopper. So it can't go any further down. There is still some pressure in there, as you can tell, because the lock is still up and this sucker is still hissing. So again, use the tongs. Safety first, kids. There you go. And that's going to vent. And while that vents, we'll know when the pressure is good. Because this little stopper will sink. Yeah, I jumped a bit there. Even knowing that it was coming, it's like, ah! Alright, so let's see, I'll put you up here in the microwave. Okay, this is clean. I'll just set it over there. This is still a pot, it is still hot. I am using oven gloves. Okay, all the pressure's been removed. The cap has been removed here. And this is dropped, so it's unlocked. So slide it off the opposite way it went on. Lift it away from you. That is just too fun not to see. Oh, sorry. Forgot you're a camera. I'm going to put you guys here. Get the lifter. Well, this one's still bubbling frantically. This is the one behind him. This one, not so much. This is the little wee one. So, yeah, they're all still blurping away. And looks here like one of them burped a little. Not too much. But it smells like soup. No, I fogged you up again. Alright, well, here it is. 306. It's still hot. Here it is. It's still hot. And so that's my how-to that I made for my mom. Hopefully I'm aiming this at my face and not any place untoward. And thanks for watching. If you want any more pressure canning videos or canning videos, let me know in the comments. Thank you again. Oh, like and subscribe if you haven't already.